I kneel to no lord, Sophia. No count, no king, no one. I only care about him.
All right. I hit a nerve there. I was teasing you. I'd just like to know who my friends really are. And I like what I hear. Come. Let's take a walk.
Yes!
Amicia was clearly a better character in the first game. One of the many reasons is that of temperament. In the first game, Amicia had her pride, as any noble person would, but you never feel that such a pride is taking the best from her. In the second, however, pride is a matter that gets in the way too much. Her pride against Vaudin and her mother, her pride against Arno, and her pride against any sort of masculine authoritative figure that she encounters through the game. In this sequel, it seems as if the character has developed a sort of problem against authoritative figures that wasn't particularly evident in the first game, in which she leads the youngsters, but seeks advice from the elders without that much of a problem. One thing is for Amicia to disagree with the way Vaudin is treating Hugo, and another thing is dialogues like this.
I kneel to no lord, Sophia. No count, no king, no one. I only care about him. I kneel to no lord, Sophia.
When I first heard this line, I thought to myself, what the hell? I thought this was a game about protecting and raising your kid brother, not a game about defying the status quo. So how is it that the emphasis is more on Amicia saying that she kneels to no one, and when she says that she cares only for Hugo is an afterthought? Lines like this, and many others throughout the game, are childish attempts of the writers to give more depth to a character whose core personality should be that of a caring mother, because that is what the franchise as a premise is supposed to be about. I found this line pointless because in real life a responsible woman would not be harboring such thoughts of defiance while carrying a 6-year-old brother, even more so one that summoned rats when angry or frightened. In real life, good parents tend to think more like this.
I understand principles. I had them before I had 4 kids.
That's reality. And the point is that from the perspective of a son, I can tell you, it's okay. I understand that my parents had to put up with a lot of crap every day, and they did it for the sake of my siblings and me. Not because they were weak or stupid, but because they cared for us, their children. You don't have to talk loud, Amicia. I know you are strong, and that you care for him.
I kneel to no lord.
Okay, forget it! When you have real life responsibilities, you have to kneel a lot. Sad, but that's how it is. Also, you have to be more careful with what bullshit you say to the world, Amicia, and most importantly, how you say it. If the authors wanted to portray Amicia as a free-willed person that is not likely to fall into the manipulations of fake parental figures like the Count and the Countess, then she should have said those lines more like this. Sophia, I wasn't swearing loyalties to anyone last night. I did what was necessary to survive the moment. My truest loyalty is to my family. And after saying that, she should, of course, gesture towards Hugo. The difference between the original dialogue and my version is that in my version, Amicia demonstrates a more cautious and responsible personality, and one more attuned to how she was in the first game. She wasn't celebrating Arno's capture with anyone. She was just going along to provide safety to her brother, her truest loyalty, because if they had followed Arno's plan, they would be in jail or dead, or the island would already be infested with rats. None of the three good for anyone. There is a power behind words, and another different power behind the way such words are delivered. They can make a character look strong or weak, wise or immature. This tendency for anger is seen a lot of times in the way she behaves with basically everyone in the game that isn't Hugo or Lucas, except when they ask better of her or when they challenge her authority.
Yeah! See? They're nothing! Nothing to be scared of!
Amicia, what are you doing? We have to go!
No! I'm tired of being afraid! I'll show them that it's over! Come, I'll give you what you want!
He has a shield! Careful!
You listen to me and do as I say! Is that clear?
Oh, look at what's happening here. Look at you. Do you feel you have to get angry to be heard so people will listen to you? Is that your deal?
Amicia in the first game had character, but she didn't require of shouting and pretending being tough so that people might listen to her. In simple words, Amicia was more cautious and cautious, and that won her more friends in the first game than her loud and brutish personality has won her in the second. In the first game, Amicia is the one to remind Hugo of his manners, as seen on moments like when they talk with Clervy. In the second, it's Hugo and Lucas the ones that have to intervene on basically every conversation in the game, because if they let Amicia talk by herself, she is going to win them enemies instead. Moments like when Lucas convinces Joseph to wait for them, and when Hugo convinces Arno to help them are perfect examples.
You see that? That is the right attitude.
That is the right attitude.
Amicia is so silly and insecure in this game that she falls on every bait that any adult and or masculine character throws at her, like shouting at Arno when he says that she needs to be tamed in front of Sophia, giving more credit to his claim.
This is Amicia and Hugo. The small one has potential. The big sister still needs to be tamed.
Try that.
You see?
And making a fool of herself, by the way. And despite her tough and free-willed, kneel-to-no-one personality, she seems to be completely at ease that this creepy woman puts a crown of flowers on her brother's head, flowers that could well be poisoned for all I know. Doesn't this island look creepy? Wasn't anyone reminded of Terminus or the Wicker Man? How is it that Amicia is smiling so much? She should be wary of everyone and everything. Amicia on one hand distrusts Arno with every fiber of her being, and teaches Hugo to do the same, but on the other hand seems to be completely at ease with these islanders who are behaving in very weird and unsettling ways. At times, I felt she hated Arno more than the Saint Vaudan, simply because of her self-important pride, and when that happens, you know your protagonist is in deep trouble. Great job, Asobo Studios. As I already said, there is a power behind words. You can say the same thing, but as a writer, you can make a serious difference in the way you phrase it. See the way Altair in Assassin's Creed talks to his mentor Al-Mualim. Observe that the character maintains an interesting blend of personal conviction as well as humility and respect for his mentor. Through the course of this game, Altair grows from a violent, self-important dick to a cautious, respectful man without losing his edge. For as much respect as Altair had for his mentor, and for as much humility as he learns to show to his peers, he still maintains his own will, and is able to, at any time, bring forth his character and take control of any situation without ever forgetting the valuable lessons of humility and responsibility that Al-Mualim went so far to teach him. As an end result, we have a character that is able to apologize for his mistakes without becoming submissive in the process, being able to point out the flaws in his peers without undoing his previous apologies. This same character can demand his mentor to speak the whole truth of what is going on, and a second later step down and become humble without losing his dignity.
Altair, before you go...
Yes?
How did you know I wouldn't kill you?
Truth be told, Master, I didn't. I took a leap of faith.
Why is it that I end up admiring characters like Altair more than these strong female characters that talk loud and take nonsense from no one? Altair never saw the need to get bold with King Richard, to insult him or shout at him in order to demonstrate how tough he is. No, Altair was a man of actions, not of bravado, and making empty promises and threats. He impressed King Richard with actions, and afterwards by speaking to him in a quiet manner, always respectful to the king's station and never feeling insecure because the king as a whole is the one leading the pace of the conversation. Altair answers to all of King Richard's questions and japes without ever losing control, further demonstrating how much he's grown as a person across the length of the game. Amicia's outburst, on the other hand, only demonstrates how insecure she is that she finds the need to growl at an older and savvier woman to prove how strong and free-willed she is, instead of imagining that Sophia could well be testing her, which was the truth. The point of my comparison is that Asobo Studios is obviously trying to push Amicia as the truest female assassin since Ubisoft has never really committed to do that themselves. They've done a few tries, yes, but they've never committed to a full-fledged game with a singular female protagonist. A Plague Tale is also another historical piece, and the after-credits scene further proves their intentions of imitating Ubisoft's more renowned franchise. The gameplay is similar to Assassin's Creed to a smaller degree, and this second game revolves a lot around freedom and free will and fighting and killing. In simple words, Amicia in Requiem was transformed from a caring big sister to a killer with free will. It doesn't get more Assassin's Creed than that, right? The biggest difference, however, between Amicia and Altair is that Requiem condones Amicia's stupidity, while the whole ordeal of Assassin's Creed revolves around Altair maturing as a leader, understanding what the creed is all about, and redeeming himself before the eyes of his mentor and peers. Amicia in Requiem is like Altair at the beginning of his game, only that she doesn't seem to grow, doesn't seem to learn, and by the way this is looking, she won't redeem herself either. Even worse, the game never truly punishes her for anything, and doesn't even ask her to be better. In fact, when you look back at how this character was in the first game, and how thoughtful concerning her mistakes she was, you realize that Amicia, in the sequel, instead of progressing, is regressing. Great job, Asobo Studio! I'm really too dejected for long afterthoughts, so like and subscribe if you wish. This game is breaking me. I think I'm gonna go after this and play Black Flag. Trust me, it's way better than this mess called Requiem.
I kneel to no lord, Sophia. No count, no king, no one.
You fucking child.